Hey guys, what's up? Just here with a quick little video. I wanted to do a video on just a reminder for any new technicians in the field, or even some seasoned technicians that may not be aware, and that's in regards to temperature split, or your target temperature split across your evaporator coil. I just had a call I just left right now. It's a homeowner that's selling their house, and the buyer, along with the real estate agent, had an inspection done on the house, and the inspector failed. They had a gas furnace with a straight AC system for their basements, and the inspector failed the cooling test on that unit. And we all know basically what inspectors usually do is they'll fire the system and cooling, and put a thermometer on the return, a thermometer on the supply, get their dry bulb temperature split, and if it's anything below 15, 16 degrees, that they fail it. If it's above it, they pass it. So that's basically what happened. The inspector wrote down an 11-degree split across the coil, and we came. They called us out there to take a look at it. First thing I did was obviously, fire up the system, put my gauges on there, and check my, it uses a fixed orifice, so I checked my superheat and compared it to my target superheat. Just in case any new guys in the field don't know, usually the way you get your target superheat on a fixed orifice system is by getting your indoor wet bulb and your outdoor dry bulb. Excuse me. And there's various different apps and charts. I have a couple apps on my phone, but I usually, to be honest with you, I have an R22. I don't know if you can see that right there. Well, sorry, that's the TXV side. You see where it says non-TXV? That's for R22, and I have the same one, a pink one, for 410A. I got a few of them in the truck, and it's just easier for me sometimes just to use a little slide cheat sheet or card or whatever you want to call it than using the apps. But sometimes I do use the app. But anyways, you get your indoor wet bulb, you get your outdoor dry bulb. Those two numbers will give you your target superheat, and as long as you're usually within plus or minus 3 to 5 degrees above or below that number, then you're within the range. So anyways, the unit was running, it's an R22 system, it's an old train system, and it was running like 60, 68, 67 pounds of suction pressure, which was like a 37-degree evaporator temperature. And my superheat, my actual superheat, was up at like 22, 23. So I got the target superheat. The target superheat was 25, so I was well within the range for where, as far as adequate refrigerant charge. So then I went inside the basement. I checked my target temperature, my temperature split, and I was getting an 11-degree split across the coil. And this is dry bulb. Now, what inspectors don't know is that the higher the moisture content in the air, the lower your temperature split's gonna be. So in this case, I had to take out my psychrometer, and the basement area, I stuck it in the in the return plenum closest to the unit I can get, and I was getting, I want to say I was getting about a 69-degree wet bulb, and my relative humidity for the space was like hovering between 74, 76, and every so often it'll go up to like 80, so mid 70s. So it's really humid in the basement, which is pretty common in basement systems, obviously, especially if there's no dehumidification in there. So, and it's a real old house as well. So anyways, there's different apps, like I said, you use for your target superheat, but there's also apps that you can use for your target temperature splits. I know iManifold, I have that app as well, and the Testo has it as well. I actually like, there's a little cheat sheet that Zach from Working Joe's Roundtable has, and that's the one I always use. I have it saved on my phone, so every time I need to get my target temperature split, I look at his chart. It's just really easy to look at and use, and I know what my target split's supposed to be in a matter of seconds. Appreciate that, Zach. Thank you very much. So yeah, so basically the target temperature split, you basically take your return air wet bulb and your return air dry bulb, and those two numbers fall in line with a number on the chart. That number is going to be your split, and according to these conditions, it was right around 10 or 11 degrees, and that it was a little 1.5 ton AC, but it was so humid inside the basement area that's what the temperature split was. You're not going to get a higher split than that unless you slow down the fan speed or reduce the airflow, which naturally your temperature split will go up. But it took me a while to convince the customer. I actually had to show them that chart from Zach's website, and until they finally realized how everything works, and the lack of education and know-how that the inspectors perform on inspections. They're not looking at wet bulb, they're not looking at relative humidity, they're not looking at target stuff. They're just looking at dry bulb in, dry bulb out, and that's all they look for. And they use rule of thumbs. So just a little heads up for you guys. Just make sure whenever you come across a system, there's various different tools and apps and manuals and things of that nature that can give you proper, accurate targets, whether it be superheat, whether it be subcooling, whether it be temperature split. There's a lot out there, and again, I really appreciate Working Joe's Roundtable. Zach does a superb job in providing guys in the field with adequate information and easy to use stuff. So just make sure we take a look at that, and don't go by the standard 18 to 20 degree temperature drop across the coil, because remember, the higher the humidity, the higher the wet bulb, the lower that split's going to be. So yeah, just want to throw that out there, guys. Alrighty, see you on the next one.